die, dude! It's time to bring down the fire giant himself, Surtur, the Lord of Muspelheim, just below. I am ready. I am prepared. This man is ready to conquer, for he is the conqueror. There he is, just below, boys. It's time to be slain. Do we just flag here? Yeah, just flag here. Easy. Oh, I might be stuck. I need flag. There we go. He did. He did. Oh, and a smooth level up. Look at that. And a smooth level up. Hello, gamers. Today's a good day. We finished normal difficulty here on our Conqueror, getting shoved around by this NPC. Let's just quickly go over our gear. I'll show you what we're wearing. This is a Conqueror, which is warfare and defense. You guys kind of know the drill at this point, but I'll just start with the hat. As always, we have a Hallowed hat. Hallowed is plus to skills, some vitality resistance, and health regen. For the charm, we put on Amun-Ra's Glory. You can force it for vitality resistance. I chose not to try to get the flat health bonus. But Amun-Ra's Glory is incredible for health and energy. So that's what we did there. We have our weapons. We got really, really lucky with this club from Atlantis. Now, I didn't play through Atlantis on this character. I just opened the shop, the first town after killing Typhon. And when we farm for Typhon to get some items, I always check the shop afterwards. And I found a Veterans Club of Tinkerer. Tinkerer allows 2 charm slots, and Veterans is percent fizz damage, percent offensive ability, and percent attack speed. That is incredible. Clubs are amazing on this build too because there's no piercing ratio, and they have the highest flat damage. You know, clubs and hammers have the highest flat damage. They are the slowest, so you do want to try to mitigate that as much as possible. Yeah, so as you can see, then Valor of Achilles and Penclaw we put on there. The force completion bonus of Valor of Achilles is 8% attack speed. You can see, so that's 20% attack speed from one charm, plus 5 additional damage, and then the Penclaw always rolls 15 to 35 flat damage. Once again, the force completion bonus on the Penclaw is 8% attack speed. So that is an absolute massive find for our weapon. And then on our shield, we got pretty lucky here with the Rings of Rhine. We were farming for a different shield called the Shield of Gouda, which is a really nice 500 hit point shield plus some bleed res and some other nice stuff. The shield does 106 damage when you hit with it. It has 38 cold res, 48% block chance. It has almost 300 defensive ability, which is nuts. It also has minus requirements, 15% minus requirements. We'll take advantage of that here very quickly when we farm in Epic for Stonebinder's Cuffs. It also has 15% XP. That's really sick. That's going to be really, really helpful. And then minus 17 recharge. Recharge is always good. It's just always good for almost any character. So that's a really nice piece. We'll hold on to that for quite some time. And then prior to that, I'll just show you the shield we were using. We were using a shield, a hail shield. Whenever you get the opportunity to multiply your strength and your health, it's ideal on this build because warfare and defense, they both main stat your strength, so you're just easily multiplying strength. And then needles doesn't really matter, but it's piercing retaliation. And the cool thing about this shield is you can put a spiny shell there. Spiny shell is really nice because it adds 20 flat damage to your shield. And since we are a conqueror that uses a shield for its weapon, Just adding 20 flat damage is nuts. We got really lucky here for the completion bonus. There's a bunch of, okay completion bonuses, but the 16% pierce res is pretty nice. So you can see, though, we did swap off of that once we got to Act 5 and got this shield. So moving on, as always, like I said, we play with Hallowed Hat and Stonebinder's Cuffs almost all the time. No exception here. Stonebinder's Cuffs is plus to skills and elemental resist. It rolled 9% elemental resist. We also got cold res and DA as suffix and prefix. So that's kind of cool too. For a while, we were using the charm Amun-Ra's Glory. That's pretty standard early on because in Act 1 you get this piece to drop, and then Act 2 Amun-Ra's Glory drops. And I believe we had the health bonus here. But as you can see, once you get to Act 4, Essence of the Rays of Ares, you put these on armbands, there's 15% chance of 150 flat damage. That is just absolutely massive. And then, so we also got really lucky here. The completion bonus is 54 reduced armor. That will always apply on auto attacks and shield hits too. So that's really, really nice. That's a good completion bonus. Next up, we got a chest piece. This character got super, super lucky. Let me go ahead and put it over here so you guys can see the tooltip. This is the Soldier's Chitin. It is a monster infrequent from like those ant bugs from Act 4. And what's really interesting about this piece is it always rolls Pierce Res at a high value. And I got super lucky because this rolled Mountaineers, and Mountaineers is flat physical damage, cold res, reduce freeze, and slow attack retaliation. That is a huge prefix on this monster infrequent. That is a really, 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 really big piece. But you can see on this one we have Essence of the Stew of Eldamir. This relic drops from Act 5. It's 12% strength and energy regen. We also got super lucky with the completion bonus. With another 5% strength. So you can kind of see one piece takes her strength from 700 all the way up to 812. So that's pretty nice multiplication. Yeah, so then we have our boots. We just got these Sikellis' leg guards. We're overcapped on Pierce Res. We have so much Pierce Res on this build. We're at least 31% Pierce Res overcapped because just everything has Pierce Res on it. It's not a bad situation to go into Epic with lots of Pierce Res. So. Sikellis has 160 armor, 30 pierce res, 57 lightning res, poison res, 400 health and movement speed, and then 6 dodge and 5 avoid. It has plus to nature mastery, but obviously we're not taking advantage of that. And then there's also bonus to your pets. Again, not taking advantage of that. But the piece itself, 400 health is kind of hard to pass up. So. Previously, we were just using like these robust leggings of finesse. Robust is percent strength and percent health, and then finesse is just dexterity. The charm slot is nice to put movement speed and poison res on it, but that's just an easy upgrade here. Our 2 rings, we have a hail ring and another hail ring. So hail is percent strength, percent health. This ring, we put Essence of Monkey, Monkey King's Trickery on it. That has RR and Elemental Res, and then the Force Completion bonus is Pierce Res. At the time we put the Monkey on here, we needed the Pierce Res. We don't need it anymore. But again, 20% strength, 10% health. It's just sick. There's some stuff we'll upgrade in Epic, but for normal, this is great. Same thing here, Hail of Virility. Virility is just flat strength. So 20% strength, 9% health, and then another 18 strength. On here we have Demon's Blood for the Vit Res and Stun Res. We got lucky with the Stun completion bonus. We'll talk about why you don't need so much Stun Res on defense character here in a minute, but we're definitely overcapped on Stun Res. Not a complaint, not a big deal at all. We were just trying to cap our Vit Res, and we're pretty close. Last thing is our medallion. This is kind of just a generic medallion. We have total speed, movement, casting, and attack speed, which is nice. And then, as always, we put the golden scarab on there for the force completion bonus. That means we have +3 to skills. +3 to skills really helps. It goes a long way. Oh, sorry. One last thing. Golden belt, 25% armor protection, 40% pierce res. again, like I said, we're over capped on Pierce. Our Pierce doesn't move. But anyways, and some fire res as well. 20% strength. That's the Pierce, the armor, and the fire. Pierce, armor, fire, and percent strength is why we got it. And then there's another bonus, less damage from giants, 80 less damage from giants. You only take advantage of that from Act 4 in the Palace and Act 5. So, but it is nice. And then also we got really, really lucky with the completion bonus, another 9% armor. So this is a total of 34% armor with one piece. So it's pretty huge. Anyways, that's our gear. Let's go ahead and quickly talk about our attribute points. The only time we spent points on dexterity was early on, and that was to equip Stonebinder's Cuffs. They require 127 dexterity. And we put just a little bit in there. The rest literally is, I think we did 5 points in health, and the rest is in strength. We are hoarding slightly a little bit for attribute points, so that we can upgrade our Stonebinder's Cuffs in Epic to be able to equip them. So we're saving a little bit because I'm not sure exactly how much we'll need. And so you can see we have 14 attributes available, but basically slam strength and you're kind of good to go. So let's go ahead and look at our skills. I'll show you warfare first. We have weapon training maxed out. Weapon training is a must on this build. 300 at our current skill point allocation, 318 offensive ability, 22 attack speed. You just don't skip it, right? And we're not dual wielding because if you dual wield, you don't take advantage of shield attacks. You can dual wield as a Conqueror. There's no problem. You just play differently. Moving over to Battle Rage, when you're being hit, you have a chance to activate for 10 seconds. During that duration, you do 20 at 4 out of 12. This is only 1 point has been put in here. 26 damage is added to every auto attack, and then you get offensive ability multiplication, 33% offensive ability during Battle Rage. So that's also something you just don't skip. And then also Crushing Blow. During your Battle Rage window, you have a chance, 25% chance to do more flat damage to every auto attack. So both of these will be maxed out. You just don't need to right away. And then you can skip counterattack. You can put 1 point into it much later, but you just don't need retaliation at all. Kind of the same thing here. Dodge attacks. We only put 1 point in it recently. 10% chance to dodge attacks. This is only melee attacks. It has nothing to do with projectiles or ranged or spells. It's only melees. So again, we have lots of DA. So if they can get through our DA, now we have another chance to dodge. So the big thing you want in Warfare is Battle Standard. We have this completely maxed. We got this maxed at like level 12. You put this down and things just die. Specifically bosses early on, and then later on you can use it to kill mobs when you have other skills to help cleave. But anyways, when it's down at 13 out of 10, you have plus the skills. And you do, every auto attack does 274 flat physical damage. You have another 120 flat physical, offensive ability, and things cost 50% less energy. It's just nuts. It's just absolutely nuts. And then we also have Triumph, which is its add-on. While the flag is down, mobs deal less physical damage to you, and they also have less physical resistance, and they also have less stun res. So the minus phys res, all our damage is physical damage. So if you can reduce armor and if you can reduce physical resistance, that's what you want to do. So that's the power of the battle standard. We have Onslaught. We usually take that much later in the game, and that's what we did here. We took it in the end of Act 3, I believe. When it's fully charged up, you have 70% physical damage, and if you're using a bow or a thrown weapon, you have 100% increased projectile speed. You really want Onslaught only for Ardor here, all the way up here at 32. Ardor gives you, while you have only one charge is required, you get 22% movement speed and 22% attack speed. So that's why Onslaught is sick. I mean, the percent physical damage scaler is really nice, but the dream here is Ardor. The other two add-ons are nice too. You can actually skip hamstring completely. You don't need a point in here at all, but if you have spare points, it's no problem. This is 20% reduced defensive ability. Again, we have lots of offensive ability, so you don't even need to reduce their defensive ability. But this also reduces armor, and this also has slower movement speed. So it's kind of nice for, you know, killing mobs. And then this one here, Ignore Pain. This one is really, really good in later difficulties when you need the Fizz and Pierce Res. Again, we're overcapped big time on Pierce Res, so you know we kind of don't need this, but it is good. And then I always 1 point Warhorn, and we're gonna max out Doomhorn. I'll show you why. In a nearly 10-meter radius, you just stun mobs, and then the add-on reduces armor, and again, armor mitigates against physical damage. All we deal is physical damage, so less armor means more damage from us. So it's huge. The reduction enemy health, we're never scaling that, but it is a nice bonus. They just generally are going to resist that in later difficulties. Okay, but that's Warfare. That's our Warfare skills real quick. And then moving over to defense, you can see here we're trying to climb to the top here. My next thing, we're going to pick up Unyielding Phalanx. This is a really great boss killer. And then Perfect Block, we'll pick that afterwards. But for now, we have 1 point in Adrenaline. This is a health regen proc, and this whole tree is incredible. Once you're inside of Adrenaline, this is what you want: defensive reaction. You want this maxed out. When Adrenaline procs, you have 80% physical damage, 80% bleed damage, and 26% total speed. Again, total speed is movement, casting, and attack. So total speed is sick. It's always good. And then this first add-on has the cooldown recharge quicker. When you go into Adrenaline, it has a cooldown period, and so adding points into Resilience reduces the cooldown of Adrenaline. So more uptime when you take Resilience. Okay, so this whole tree is great. It's incredible. You want to max the top one first. And then the bottom one, and then get this one to 80%. You can't over recharge it, so get it to close to 80% and then stop putting points in it. Moving over to Rally. Rally heals you in a large radius. You restore health, you increase your health regen, and you give yourself flat armor. So if you have any multiplication for armor, you get even more armor during this. Its first add-on is really nice. You only need 1 point, because it regens energy, so you only need more points in here if you think you need more energy regen. I generally don't. This will give you 10% total speed. So total speed. We're sprinkling that everywhere, so that feels really nice. And then Defiance, its final add-on. You take this for elemental resistance. Some people use it for reflection. Once we get Phalanx, you can apply the reflection to your Phalanx, and they deal even more damage because of the reflection. So that's really cool. But I really only take it for the elemental resistance later on. Even though Ellie Res is super easy to get, now you can absolutely kind of neglect it, because you're just going to get it during Rally. You should use Rally to not just heal you, but to engage as well, because that will bring up your total speed proc. That will bring up your armor, so you're ready to go. Moving over to Battle Awareness, this is a 1 pointer for sure. You can max it out later, totally fine. But it'll give you defensive ability. It gives you flat armor. Every piece gets flat armor. You can skip focus if you want more shield block. Here's just flat percent block. It's just super easy to neglect this, because most shields have pretty high block chance anyways. And this also reserves more energy, so I skipped it. Earlier I said there's a reason you don't need stun res on a defense character. It's because of Iron Will. I only have 1 point in here, and this gives you 50% all your secondary resists: sleep stun, reduce trapment, reduce freeze, skill disruption, and pet mind control. So the 50 stun res alone is just nuts. So that one, put as many points as you need, get as close to 80% as possible, and then stop putting points in it. I skipped over Quick Recovery. You can use it. It's it costs energy and has 18-second duration. And during its duration, your shield block recovers 25% faster. During its duration, you have 10% more armor absorption. And during its duration, you also have increased block chance. we'll use that later. We don't really need to block a ton of things now, but it is a good one. One of the bread and butter pieces of this build is shield charge. You run into combat, you deal flat damage, and its add-on disruption. In a 360 arc, you hit more enemies. You can hit 5 target max at 8 out of 6.
Well, I don't get many visitors.
So at 8 out of 6, you can hit 5 targets with your shield. That's why you want to keep upgrading your shield, because your shields will then hit harder. Later on, we will put more points into this because it will also increase the flat damage that the skill does. So these 2 skills are nice. You only need 1 point shield charge for now. Same thing here. Batter hits with your shield, and Rend Armor cleaves. Rend Armor is how you hit multiple targets. Now you hit 3 targets, and Rend Armor does exactly what it says. It reduces their armor. So all 3 targets that you hit, they have 72 reduced armor. We're gonna max out probably both of these, but for now we're just using our plus the skills to scale it. Moving on up higher in this tier, we have Colossus Form. Just read it. For 24 seconds, you have 37% damage absorption, 50% more physical damage, 37% more strength, 37% more health. The minus total speed, who cares? But like just pick it. We'll max it. Pick it. Just take it. It's literally amazing. It's amazing. So, and then moving on to the final column here, we have armor handling. You should max this. I didn't max it right away. I only 1-pointed it, and this is minus strength requirements for armor and shields. If you're not playing like Warfare, maybe you struggle a little bit with strength. So like if you're playing a paladin or something, and you kind of want to go a little bit more hybrid, you would max this one earlier. Everyone should max it because of the armor absorption, the way armor absorption works, and it's out of the scope of this video, but basically means your armor is more effective. So the more absorption, the better. And that's why everyone should take it, basically. Moving on up to Shield Smash, this is a weapon. When you attack with your weapon, you have a chance for this to proc. All 3 of these skills procs your shields. It's a free attack with your shield. Shield Smash does 22 damage, 50% reduced defensive ability for 3 seconds. We don't need the reduced DA. But it's useful because then you'll be able to crit easier later. 1-point it. Same thing here, disable, chance to be used, 22 damage, slower attacks for 5 seconds. We're not going to scale either one of these immediately. The one I recommend people taking, this is the 3 target cleave. This is called Pulverize. Again, same thing, 1 point, we have 12% chance to be used, and 120 arc, you hit 3 targets for 14 to 22 damage. You reduce their offensive ability and you disrupt them. But the big thing here is we're stacking attack speed, so we're attacking a ton. So that means more chances for this to proc, and then this one procs and it hits 3 targets. That's the really good one, and we want this one to proc the most. So we're going to scale that. So that's our skills basically, and our build. We are ready for Epic. This build is quite easy to build. Just minimal farming, just slam strength, and you're good to go, really. I hope that helps. I hope you guys enjoy conquering the battlefield with your new Conqueror. All right, boys. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!